Welcome back, everyone, to the Wiz and Coder Podcast, episode 2 of season 2. I am one of your co-hosts, Zimri Hernandez, aka Wiz. To my left, my wonderful other co-host, Coder, aka Calvin.
Tell him, Zim.
Dave Clemente. Maniago, aka the podcaster who forgets his mic
I'm guilty.
to record.
I am guilty for that. We had a wild day today.
Before we get
Before
before we get into that, let's just remind our audience. Thank you so much for giving us a positive feedback on our last episode. Remember to like and sub on our YouTube channel now, brand spanking new. And follow us on the socials, right? Socials are going to be posted right here at Wiz and Coder Podcast on Instagram, on TikTok,
YouTube?
on Megalodon, whatever it's called, whatever Twitter is going to create next, question mark.
Mm-hmm.
But make sure to follow us on the socials and leave a like, support us.
Yep.
We really appreciate that.
We appreciate all the support that we got from the release of season 2, episode 1. Like, that was really cool. Even for me, like, to see us on like YouTube, man, like, I would have never expected that to come out of this when we first started. But
shout out to everyone who texted me what's it called after the episode aired. I appreciate you guys.
I just want to point out on our draft right here,
on the outline
that we have for this episode, Zim had to say, "Don't say what's it called."
Guys,
to remind himself,
Okay, so I was so annoyed at myself when I completely miscalculated how long it was gonna take for me to edit that episode
because of the many times that you said what's it called.
And yes, and listening to myself back, I got so annoyed at myself. One night I literally had to step away from editing. Like, I took a break and I continued the next day. I was like, I can't do this. I like annoyed myself from it. So, new episode. I'm not gonna say it.
He's a new page.
I'm not gonna say it.
Yep.
No, only going up from here. Now, as far as recording this episode, that was a mission.
Okay, hold up. So, I don't know if you guys remember, if you watched the first episode of season 2, we had some drawbacks for that one, right? Because we were supposed to record at, like pretty early on that day, and the whole do not disturb thing with Zim, blah 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 blah. Well, this time, I got the bad end of the stick. Zim, care to explain? How was your experience for today?
It was a mission. So
Hey.
So we all get together at at the same spot that we recorded our last episode in.
Yep.
Turns out that room was not available.
Yes.
We went all over. We
had
literally
some conflicts today.
Literally 2 laps around Long Beach's campus. And if you know Long Beach, you know that campus is like literally 10 miles long. So we literally did
uphill.
So we literally did like 2 laps around that place. We looked like a bunch of idiots not knowing where things were. How many steps did we get in? What did you say?
We got, I'm pretty sure
8,000?
10,000 alone, just walking.
10,000 steps
the whole,
alone.
Whole 2 laps around Long Beach today.
10 steps alone, right? So we gave up.
11,000 steps.
We gave up. We went somewhere else to record. We went to a library to record.
Yes.
We got into the library. We found a room, study room. We're getting ready to set up. Calvin opens his backpack and says, "You're going to be mad at me." Tell him what was missing, Calvin.
We forgot the mic.
The man brought his mic stand.
We forgot the mic.
And no mic. And here's the thing, Calvin.
No, okay, wait. The funniest part about today, too, I have to point out was, so we were walking like the whole 2 laps around Long Beach, And I was telling Zim and Richie like, "Hey man, like my backpack is heavy," and like I was sweating and huffing and puffing, and it's because the mic base is like this is really heavy without the mic alone, and
And here's the thing. I picked up Calvin, and I remember because last time he was missing his headphones, which is not a big deal because I had mine, you know? So I asked him, he gets in my car. I asked him, "You have everything?" He said, "Yup." So we drive off. Long story short, what was it like 5 hours later?
we didn't have everything. We didn't.
5 hours. We got together at 1:30, right? 1:30.
1:45.
Okay. 1:45 to record. It is now 5:44 and we're barely recording. Just so be grateful you have this episode in the first place.
Yeah, be grateful that this is still even happening because there was many times where we were just gonna call it a day and not make it happen. But
That's all your fault.
this is Wiz and Coder.
All your
Wiz and
fault.
Coder's gonna find a way.
All your fault.
Yes, sir. Nah, last week was Zim's fault. Today was my
It's
fault.
not my. It's
I'll
not my
agree
fault.
to that.
It's not my fault for
It was
anything.
your fault. Do not disturb. Hey, he finally has his phone,
My phone's still on Do Not Disturb.
but he can accept calls now. So
Hey,
if you need
I
to
always-
reach Zim,
I always could accept
Call
the
him.
calls.
Just-
I
just
told
call
you.
him.
I told you I could always accept the calls.
well, he didn't
you
pick up
you
on
saw
that day.
no.
He didn't pick up on that day. So.
I was asleep. That's a different
Hey,
issue.
Hey, man,
Different
I
issue.
accept my faults.
No, you literally
accept
wanted
my
us to
faults.
record with just one mic and pass it.
That would have been
around.
funny.
No, it wouldn't have been.
Okay, maybe it wouldn't have been funny, but at least we could have got content in the way.
God. We're telling them the story. This is
We
content.
could have recorded where we were at the library.
No. Even you were like the acoustics here are trash and everything. No. No, I was not gonna let that slide. Anyway, all right, moving on.
Anyway,
Tuesday, November 15th. As you guys all know, this previous weekend, a little movie called Black Panther Wakanda Forever came out.
yep.
We all got the chance to see it. Me and Richie went out with some of our mutual friends from work, and then Calvin went off by himself.
No, so that night, shout out to Sergio because he got us like all the tickets. But usually whenever we watch like Marvel, like what's it called, like debut. Premiere. Whenever we watch Marvel
Stupid.
premieres, we usually do it at Cinemark. And I left my house early, and I was like, okay, like this is the first time I'm actually arriving to a Marvel premiere where I'm not rushing. And then I get to my parking spot, and then I'm looking at my my friend's locations, and I'm like, bro, like why isn't anyone here? Like the movie's about to start. And then I look back in the group chat, and I realize like, bro, we have to go to Norwalk instead, like the AMC there, because that's where Sergio bought the tickets this time. But it turns out like it wasn't even my fault, because I wasn't the only one that went to Cinemark in the first place. Like it was shout out to Seabass and Ivan because they went there too.
It's your fault.
Nah, it was
It's your
Sergio's
fault.
fault. It was Sergio's
No,
fault.
you be forgetting everything.
It was Sergio's fault.
You know what? After today, after everything that you put us through, it's your fault. It's your fault. Yes.
No. Because last week was your fault.
No, it wasn't.
Mm-mm.
I don't mess up as much as you do, though.
No.
Clearly, this is
Hey,
a
at
trend
least
with
when
you.
when I mess up, I admit to it.
This is clearly okay.
It's bro. When it
don't
comes to me,
start.
when it
Don't
comes
start.
to me, it's about
This
trustworthiness,
is not making the pod. I'm not.
fairness,
I'm cutting this from the
respect. What else is there?
pod. I'm cut. You don't even know.
Citizenship
Honor.
and responsibility.
You don't even know.
This is my responsibility.
You don't even.
The
no.
reason that
this is
we're-
not making the pod.
He's canceling
I'm
me
cutting
out.
it. I'm cutting this part.
Nah. Trustworthiness, respect, responsibility. Like those are the pillars that I stand on, and it takes a lot for someone to say like, hey, it's my fault, and it was my fault. But Zim, on the other hand, he can't accept that it was his fault last week. So, if there was anyone to side, would you rather have someone with dignity, or like Zim? I'd rather. I'm sorry, bro. Like, just accept it. It was your fault.
You done?
No, it was your fault.
All right. Agree to
Anyways.
disagree. Anyways,
We have
Thursday night, we all saw the movie. Calvin, immediate reactions to Wakanda Forever. Go.
It was It was a great movie. Like, I don't know what the hate is about. Like prior to watching the movie, I thought it was like like what can you expect like without Chadwick? Like it was the tragedy for him not to be there, but somehow they rewrote everything and they pulled it off. It was it had a good story to tell. Not gonna lie, like thinking about it too, it was kind of similar to the story of like the first Black Panther. But other than like the soundtrack, I would say like Black Panther 2, it was way better than the first one. What do you have to say about that, Zim?
Yeah, I agree with everything that you said. I enjoyed the movie. You know, thinking more about it every day, you know, it makes me enjoy the movie even more. This movie was dealt an impossible hand, obviously, with the loss of Chadwick Boseman, and I think, given the tragic circumstance, I think the movie did everything that it needed to do,
Yeah.
that it could do, and I think it did it well. It is definitely a long movie. I there was a like a little lull in the movie where I just remember thinking like, man, that's kind of dragging at this point. But there's nothing too major. For me, the biggest standout was Namor.
Yeah.
Tenoch Huerta. He killed
What was
it.
his name?
Tenoch Huerta.
No. What did they call him?
Oh, they call him Good God. The feather serpent god. Shout out to my man Richie behind the camera here. All right, I want everyone. I'll put a picture of him. I want everyone. If you see him in public, you see him at In-N-Out, you see him at Bath and Body Works, you see him out on the street. I want everyone to salute him the way that the people of Namor saluted. I want everyone, yes, salute him like that. Okay, you don't address him as Richie. You address him as Khan.
Yes, the man with no love.
Man, that part was a little cheesy, but I was like, all right,
Yeah, he
whatever.
said Namor.
I was like, all right, whatever. You could have done something else.
Yeah.
But that
Real creative of you.
his performance, basically his whole story, I thought was like the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
I felt like we should have gotten more out of him. There was a point where I was thinking like, man, it's been a while since we've
seen him.
We've seen Namor, and
Mhm.
the part where he takes Shuri to Talokan and they're exploring the city, I really enjoyed that part. And I was really worried at the end of the movie when him and Shuri are fighting. I was really worried that they were gonna kill him off and just really waste another villain
Yep.
like
Yeah.
that to that degree,
Mhm.
especially coming off of like Thor and seeing what they did to Christian Bale, and you know, off the good performance that he did, I was really worried that they were gonna kill him off, and
Yeah.
I'm really glad that they did.
Yeah.
I don't think they handled
He has more. He has way more to go.
exactly. I don't think they did like a perfect job with him, but he was like the best part in the movie for me. He was so sick. He was like flying in the air. He was literally like the part where he floods the city. That was amazing.
Yeah.
And,
I just love the way he moves, like, his movement, the way that he would fly. But not only that, like his performance throughout the whole movie was untouched. And what was her mom's name?
Ramona,
The Queen. She was
Queen Ramona.
Yeah. She said, what did she say? Like, I've given everything or something like that. And that hit.
No,
home.
she was great. She was great. I think about it, like M'Baku, like at the beginning of the movie was saying we should kill the fish man. It only took one punch from Namor to basically for him to be like, you know what, maybe we shouldn't go against him. You know, that's how sick he was. Remember that part where he like M'Baku goes and like flies at him and he just puts his arm up like that. Looks, special. That's special, bro.
He's OP.
He was OP. I think the director Ryan Coogler said that he's as strong as Thor and the Hulk, and I think even in the movie they make a point of that. I think M'Baku is the one that said that he's potentially as strong as the Hulk, and I definitely felt that, you know.
Yeah.
And his people too, they were pretty cool too.
Pretty
also,
OP, man. All of them were OP.
also,
I love his Achilles heel though, like for them to figure out like, I mean, which is kind of obvious, but to have a fish in the desert with like no water, no oxygen.
See that part? Okay, I understand that.
He's hating.
No, this is more so about the final fight. I felt like the final fight could have been, they could have given him like a little bit more. Like he kind of, it was kind of, my opinion, like a little
Okay,
too
I've heard
easy.
this before.
Like a little too easy for Shuri to like go up against him. Like this is like literally Shuri's like first
No.
time as a Black Panther.
I heard different.
And this guy, okay, what'd you hear?
So one of my friends was saying that it was kind of whack the way that he died, or no, not the way that he died. It was kind of whack how Shuri like didn't finish him off.
I'm glad that she didn't though.
I'm glad that she
'Cause-
didn't because there's more of Namor left.
Yeah.
But his take was saying that like what's the point of like keeping him alive for Shuri's case?
I don't know. That's an interesting point. I was just more so saying like I wish the fight between them would have lasted a little bit longer between Namor and Shuri, and I also kind of thought that was weird. Like I was so worried, like I said, when she literally like burns him alive. Like I thought that was gonna be the end of him, and then he's in the floor. You know, he's like, you think he's dying. He's like on his last breath, and he's like says, "I yield." And then the next thing we know, he's like chilling right next to Shuri, like on the ship or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I thought that was kind of weird. And I was like, I don't know. Maybe because he was over water. But it was also kind of weird just seeing, you know, like Shuri's literally right next to the guy that killed, you know, her mother and like flooded her city and everything. And he's literally right next to the person that made him like yield. And I don't know. It was just kind of
You
weird.
could say the same thing about Black Panther though.
It's kind of hokey.
You could say the same thing about T'Challa.
In what way?
Because when his dad died,
That is true.
yeah, see,
That is true. No,
when
I just
his
felt
dad
like
died, he took care of the man that killed him.
that is true. But in that case, it took a while for him to realize that. Like that was at the beginning of the movie, and then towards the end, that's when he was like, "I'm done, like being like consumed by vengeance or whatever." he
but
said.
like the same.
But like this, in this point, it's literally like she has him like she's ready to stab him, and then like 5 seconds later, she's like, "Nah, you know what? I don't know." It just felt a little too kind of off, pacing wise with me, but I don't know.
Richie's shaking his head. I think he wants to say a piece. That's your
like for
cue.
me?
Yeah.
I disagree.
Oh, okay.
Because, well, maybe the pacing I do kind of agree with, but at the same time, it's not like they leave you on a cliffhanger as to why she did it or did, or like, I mean, why she didn't kill him, I mean? Because she had that vision of her mom.
No, yeah. No.
Because for me, it was like she went from Killmonger, seeing just him in that portal, the ancestral realm, I mean, to like finally seeing her mom. So it was like, I feel like that was like her character development into like,
No, yeah.
that was her growth finally, you know?
I get the character development. Like I bought all that. I'm just saying it was kind of like it was kind of a little off for me. Just like, you know, seeing all that and then like all of a sudden your next shot it's like them like standing like together, kind of like. So I don't know. It was just a weird. I just felt that was kind of weird. But I mean I get her character development. Like seeing Killmonger and
That's just like a Black
her
Panther
mom.
theme though. Like they're in both T'Challa and Shuri, they somehow reached that point of not wanting vengeance. Like they're pretty much the most powerful like leader and country in the whole world, and like what's the point of like seeking that vengeance? I feel like that's the whole theme of it.
Let me ask you this though: was there at any point in the movie you thought we were going to see Chadwick? Like
I was anticipating it. Yeah,
Well-
I'm glad that they didn't though. I feel like it's just it in my like opinion, it doesn't do them justice to keep on making actors that have died like into CGI, like how they've been doing with like how they kind of did it with Leia in a way, or
but that was before she died. They did that before she died.
No, for Rogue One.
Yeah, I remember because when Rogue One came out, that was like when she died. I might be wrong on the timing, but I'm pretty sure she did that like before she died. But I see your point.
Okay, well,
I see your point.
How do you feel about like the whole thing with Paul Walker?
But I agree. No, I'm not really a big fan of it. I think it's kind of like weird in a sense, and
Like, regardless, like they're all great actors and actresses, but
it just feels a little weird knowing that that's
just,
not them, but we're seeing them.
I think it's in the way that it's executed.
Yeah, I guess execution does go a long way.
And I feel like the way that they did it in Black Panther 2, to honor Chadwick, that was the best way to do it.
Because you could think about this movie and you could definitely find places where they could have added like a CGI Chadwick Boseman, or like at least have like some like his voice come out or something, right? You could
like how they did in Star Wars with
you could there's definitely like spots where they could have done that, but I'm glad that they didn't also, because this movie already had a lot to deal with, with like everyone's grief, and then having to introduce another Black Panther, having to introduce an entire new civilization, new country, right, and pitting them against each other. I just felt like that would have been doing too much. And like on top of that, the movie starts off addressing his death, which I think they did like a good job of doing.
It's not even just in the movie. I feel like, man, I keep on saying that now.
No, yeah.
That's the new, what's it called, huh? In the movie, it's as if that beginning where they're showing him like struggling because of having some type of like disease. It kind of mirrors how we felt when we first found out about Chadwick's passing.
Yeah, I think for me, like hearing about like Chadwick dying, that was literally one of those times where you hear about someone dying and it's like you remember what you were doing when you found out.
Yeah,
like
how was that work?
Yeah, like for me, I remember hearing when Michael Jackson died. I remember what I was doing. I remember what I did that day. I remember when Kobe died. I remember that whole day. I remember that. And then Chadwick, it was the same thing. I think I was in my backyard watering the grass when I got the notification that from Twitter that Chadwick Boseman had died.
Yeah,
it's something that you don't really. It's hard to believe, right? Because someone's so young, someone that we literally just saw like the year before in Avengers Endgame, and you think they got so much left to give us, right? I remember my first time seeing Chadwick was in the movie 42, the Jackie Robinson movie. It's a great movie. Everyone should check it out. It's one that I revisit every so often. And just like immediately, he's one of those guys where you immediately buy him as that character, whatever he was playing. So I immediately bought him as T'Challa, as Black Panther. And so he left like impossible shoes to fill. And I think the movie did a good job of trying, not, how do I phrase this? It was impossible to fill his shoes, but they managed to make another Black Panther without necessarily trying to replace him.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes, they still honored him. So that's what I was gonna get to. In the beginning, like they kind of showed how we felt like when we first found out about his passing, but at the same time, it's the movie did a great job of setting up the mantle for a new Black Panther.
Right.
I feel like Shuri would have been overshadowed if he came up somehow. Like in the ancestral plane. Yeah,
because then it would have had us like revisiting like that grief that we all have, like that tremendous sense of loss that we all have, right? Like we're bought into making Shuri the Black Panther. She just made the heart-shaped herb, and we're into the movie. We're wondering like how is she going to go against Namor, and then all of a sudden to have to like bring us back to those feelings of grief and loss if they show Chadwick again. That's why I'm saying I'm glad that they didn't show him again like that. And just don't have to put your audience through that again because it's already like in the back of our heads throughout the whole movie.
Right.
Because you could feel like the absence of not having the original Black Panther in there. That's just something that there's nothing you can do about it under the circumstances.
I agree.
So, but the movie did, I think, a very good job of that. I definitely don't think it's the most perfect movie or a perfect movie.
Definitely enjoyable.
I didn't think Ironheart was handled the best way. I'm still excited for her show and everything, but I didn't go out being more excited about it. Some of the stuff with Val and the Ross guy.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
I thought that was it felt different, like a different movie. So I didn't necessarily think that should have been there, but then again, it's the MCU, so you have to have connections to other stuff in there. But those were like basically my main critiques. But yeah, I definitely think it was probably the best Phase 4 movie. Would you think? Okay, so let's do it. Let me look them up real quick. I'm gonna ask you, Calvin. We're not doing the TV shows. We're just doing movies. Okay, so Phase 4 movies. Calvin, is this movie better than Black Widow?
Yes.
Get closer to the mic.
Yes.
Okay,
You're moving your mic a lot, by the way.
What?
You're moving your mic a lot.
Okay, my bad. Is this movie better than Shang-Chi?
Yes. Close. Close, but yes.
Okay, is this movie better than The Eternals? I don't know why you're hesitating.
I like The Eternals, man. You guys are hating on a good movie. It was a good movie.
I definitely don't think it deserved all the hate it got. I just don't compare to others. It's not one I read.
It didn't feel like a Marvel film.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Is it so? It's better.
Okay, to cut to the chase, I think Black Panther 2 was the best out of Phase 4.
Better than Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why.
Why?
I mean, it was the same reason that we talked about in season 1, because it was kind of expected already that they were gonna come out, like Toby, Andrew, that was expected.
I agree with you. I think it's the best Phase 4 movie.
Mm-hmm.
Phase 4 movie. But yeah.
What do you think, Rich?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Excited to see my boy Khan again. All right. How was your movie going experience, by the way? Like going to the theater, AMC Norwalk, all that. How was it?
Nothing beats being with your homies, I mean, you guys weren't there, but like, what beats that? And you're going to see the movies where everyone is gonna enjoy it. Like you're in a group with people that are gonna enjoy it. Yeah.
That theater's changed a lot. I used to go there a lot when I was a little kid.
That was the main theater I would go to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember me and my dad would go a lot, and then like we'd see one movie, and then we'd hop over to another theater and watch another movie, and then good times in that movie theater. It changed though. I kind of don't really enjoy it anymore going to that one.
Mm-mm.
But
every theater now is like all high end and modern.
That one, not really, not anymore. It's not. I went not that long ago, and I remember like, damn, like these seats are not that good. Like it's there's really no space in it. It's not how I remembered it from my childhood. But us going to Cinemark, I mean, it's literally the last few times we've gone to the movie theaters, it's usually been me, Richie, and the same group of friends. And for some reason, someone always drops something. So when we went to go see Spider-Man, a friend of ours dropped, I think, his drink in the middle of the aisle.
Oh, someone dropped something this time?
No. Okay, so let me get there. Yeah, so that was Spider-Man, right? And I remember it was like in the middle of the aisle. It was right next to the stairs. It was funny. Then when we went to go see Doctor Strange, I made a point to Richie that someone always drops something, or I said something about dropping your drinks and stuff, And then we got to our seats, and I was the one that dropped the drinks into my seat.
It was my seat.
Oh, it was your seat?
Yeah.
It was both of
I
ours,
would have
wasn't
been
it?
heated, bro. I would have been heated. Like, bro, Zim, what's wrong with you?
So I remember we had to clean up the seat. So that was my fault, Doctor Strange. But then this time, nothing like that happened. But the guy didn't make me pay for the icy. So, and he made everyone else pay for their stuff.
Did
Kinda
he
weird.
know you? Or
No.
he was
So
probably
I
like,
went-
hey, that's Wiz, bro. I'm going to give him a discount.
Well, he didn't say that.
He has a podcast.
But I went, I had my,
He
I
has a
had the
podcast.
icy. I went, put it in. He was like, just a medium drink? I was like, yeah. He was like, all right, you can go. And like I stayed, I was like,
Shout out to him.
I said, are you sure?
Shout
I was
out
like
to
looking
him.
for the camera like that. And
And then you see John Quinones
Yeah.
come out of
Hi.
nowhere.
I'm John Quinones. I'd be like, oh shoot, they got me. I said they got me, bro. GG's. But it was funny. So he said, okay, you could go. So I was like, all right, cool, thanks. And I went. My friends immediately came afterwards, and he made them pay for everything that they had. So that was funny. But I had a lot of fun. Seeing them.
If anything, we might have ratted him out. Do you remember what his name is?
I'm not gonna say his name. I don't remember it, but if I did remember his name, I
Shout out
wouldn't
to
say
him.
it. Nope.
This episode is dedicated to you. Sponsored by Cinemark Downey.
Yeah. Real quick, I just want to give moving on from Wakanda Forever. That same night, Thursday, was this series finale of a little show called Atlanta. You know, some of you guys know me, know that I am a big fan of this show. I literally started off because
You're a big fan of that show?
of Atlanta. Yeah. Why?
Keep on going.
Okay, so I was first intrigued with the show because I was a big fan of Donald Glover, and I heard he was going to come out with the show. So I said, okay, since he's coming on the show, I'm going to check it out. So that was literally like junior year of high school, and now it finally ended. It's only 4 seasons long, big COVID break and hiatus. The show is really weird and hard to explain. Essentially, it's about a guy who tries to manage his cousin's rap career, and they try to make it big. So by saying it like that, right, you would think you get a sense of what the show is about, but it really isn't just about that. The show deals with a lot of topics that have to deal with the African American community here in the U.S. And I know I'm not the target demographic of that show, of what that show is trying to say. So a lot of the things goes over my head, right? But I like to listen to a lot of podcasts. So I listen to the Prestige TV podcast on The Ringer. Shout out Charles Holmes and Van Lathan on it. They review every episode and talk about what the show or what that episode was talking about. And then a lot of the things when they explain it, it's, it makes sense to me. Like, oh, this is what the show was talking about then. Like stuff that I wouldn't have picked up on because I'm not black, they pick up on. And so that makes me enjoy the show even more. So the show, it's surreal, it's weird, it's funny. A lot of times that crazy, weird, funny stuff happens that you don't think can happen. And, the series finale aired, and it was kind of like an Inception ending. You don't know what was real, what was not. Just an amazing show, top to bottom. Literally, made stars out of like its whole main cast. So if you guys haven't checked it out, go check out Atlanta. Probably one of my favorite shows of all time. So I just wanted to give them their flowers. Series finale. It's unfortunately that show is over, but go check it out. It's on Hulu. It was on FX, but it's on Hulu, so you can binge watch everything. So I know that's something that I'm going to do. Really quick, I told you, Calvin, this weekend was like the first weekend or the first time in a while where I spent some actual time on TikTok. Normally I just open it, look at one, and then kind of dip. And I remember seeing a TikTok about...
Hold up. Tell them how much time you spent on TikTok.
This weekend, probably like an hour and a half, maybe 2, around there.
You are drastically in the lower end of how much time people really spend on TikTok nowadays, including me.
Yeah, it was more before. I can't explain why. I just don't really get on it. But like I said, this weekend it was there were some funny TikToks right there. But I sent you a TikTok that talks about people at school trying to make friends and being alone. Can you read what it says, the TikTok?
Not even just school. I feel like it's college in general. Um, the TikTok that he sent me said, "When it's your final year at university, but you never really made any friends here, so you eat alone and spend most of your time by yourself waiting for your classes to start. But it's okay because you have gotten comfortable with the fact that, with that fact. Now all you're trying to do is get your degree and go."
Yeah.
What was your thought process when you first
So
saw
I
that?
just wanted to make a point, like fellas, ladies, it's okay to be alone at school. You know, yeah, everyone's different. Obviously, if you dorm at a school, if you like live in like outside like housing, like school housing with other people, then you're probably not gonna have this problem, right? But if you're going to like a commuter school, or if you're commuting, if you're like moving somewhere else where you literally don't know anyone, and you might feel like, because of the fact that you're alone at school, that people are gonna think that you're like a loner or like a loser or something. I just want to make sure that people know that it's okay to be alone. You don't always have to be like with friends like at school. I remember like my freshman year, even like middle sophomore year, because I mean COVID happened, so it stopped. But like I would always make sure that I'd be hanging out with some people, in between my breaks, from classes and stuff like that. So I would always be hanging out, with people, with friends that I made at school at Fullerton, right? But when we went back after the pandemic, going back on campus, I excuse me, I really wasn't too focused on or too worried about making sure I was always with friends at school. A lot of the times, even some of like my best memories are just like me like hanging out at the library by myself, like doing my work, or finishing my work and going on YouTube and watching a bunch of videos, or doing something, just by myself. That was a lot of times when I had the most fun, was by myself. Now naturally me, I'm a little more introverted, so I'm a little more comfortable with just being by myself. I don't really see what like the big deal on it is. And if you know me, you can attest to that. And my friends, obviously, they've made a point on this podcast earlier. I think last season Richie said the same thing, right?
Yep.
So it's not nothing new with me. I just want to make sure, I just want to clear it up that it's okay to be alone. You don't always have to be with other people. No one's gonna think that just because you're by yourself at school and like eating or working on stuff, that you're like a loser or something like that. To that mean, does that make sense, Calvin?
Yeah. I don't think it's as common anymore, but there was always this stigma of like being alone is not such a good thing. And I feel like, man, there it goes again. I'm turning into you, Zim. Like this energy coming onto me.
It's not your day today, bro.
It really isn't my day.
It really isn't.
I woke up at 4. Had exam. I had an exam. And then the whole. Anyways, to get back to the topic, there's a negative stigma with, like just being by yourself out in public, and I feel like people should be cherishing like how you said earlier, being by yourself. I feel like there it is. This is how you felt last episode, huh?
You know what's funny?
This is how you felt last episode.
No, I did not know that this was such a big deal. Like I did not know I was saying it a lot until I heard myself.
No, but you said it so much.
I said so much. You know what's funny?
I haven't said it.
You know what's funny? I had to. There's a, like, if you look at if you revisit the episode, there's a lot of times where you'll see me move my mouth and nothing's coming out. It's because I had to mute myself. I was like, this is too many times I'm saying it. I was so pissed off at myself. There's like, I muted myself probably like 10, 15 times.
So you modified how much
video.
How many times you said what's it called?
I said what's it called
that
a lot more
way
times.
More than we heard it.
Way more than you heard.
That's
so like I muted myself
that's
a bunch
dirty,
of times.
man. Like you deprived us of the many times that you said
was,
what's it called.
I annoyed myself with it. It was horrible. I told Calvin, I was like,
everyone enjoyed it.
I told Calvin, I
it.
said like, you know, like we had to put the video out because, you know, we had a deadline and everything. And we told everyone.
Hold up.
But like,
we were supposed to have a guest by this time too.
Yeah. So I told him, I said, let's hold off on the guest. I need to do another episode where I can like redeem myself.
Hey, and he's redeeming himself.
So yeah.
We were on time today. Well, in theory, we were on time. He wasn't on Do Not Disturb, and it didn't bring us back. And on top of that, he hasn't said what's it called once.
Not. I've said it on purpose, but yeah.
Yeah, he said it on purpose, but throughout the last 2 weeks, he's trained himself not to say what's it called.
Literally, yeah. I've been like catching myself like whenever I talk to other people and I say it, I like stop myself. Yeah, it's something I'm conscious about now because of it.
As Californians, this was something that I've never realized before. I guess it's instilled in our like accent. The many times that we say like or as or and maybe I'm not the only one that notices this, but like there it goes again. It's never occurred to me how often we say like, and I want to get that out of my system. You know, I'm not ashamed of it or anything, but I've tried to be more weary of what I say.
Right.
And I try to refrain from saying too much or saying like too much. But in the end of the day, like you just have to get your word across, you know?
And it's kind of hard to like when you're actively thinking about it, like
and
trying to find a different word to use it instead of like and you know and all that. But
a lot of people notice, but I don't really think about it before saying it out loud.
Yeah, that's why you say some questionable things.
So that's why a lot of stuff comes out of nowhere.
I know.
Anyways,
I'm surprised you're not canceled.
Why? Because I'm not. I don't do cancelable things like you do, Zim. Like we don't want to get into that.
We all know. We
don't want to get into that.
We all know how nurses be.
We all know
about the questionable nurses.
If you've ever been in the group chat with Zimri,
don't get me started about the nurses.
You want. You'd be questioning
and
why
and think about it.
He would like want to have a podcast in the first place.
Think about it,
because you would think that someone with his demeanor and humor, you would think that he'd get canceled right away, but
I don't, because I haven't said anything.
Because you've been restraining yourself.
No, I haven't, because I don't do cancelable
and
things.
I don't want to. I don't want you to get canceled either. So that's why.
Look, now, today you're forgetting your mic. When you become a nurse, you might be forgetting to give them anesthesia.
Well, I'm not a full-time podcaster. That's the difference.
You might be forgetting
that
other
is
things.
a difference.
You think about. I don't trust myself.
I don't handle the anesthesia yet. I don't handle that.
If I went to the doctor's office
and you saw me, you'd be like, yes.
I'd be like,
yes, that's my nurse.
Get me another nurse.
That's my nurse right there.
I'm not staying there. No, sir. I've seen him forget a lot of things. No, he's gonna forget to do something.
Forget what?
He's gonna forget to give me
my
anesthesia.
I wouldn't bring that. I wouldn't bring this mic into my patient's room. I wouldn't bring my patient's mic to my patient's room.
I don't trust.
What else have I forgotten?
You male nurse. I don't trust you.
Dang, Zim. The hate. You see this guy?
No,
like,
you hated
just
on
imagine,
me first.
Just imagine what happens in the group chat.
You did it on me first last episode.
What? I'm not grilling you. I'm not grilling you.
Yes, you did. There's literally
okay. There was a whole segment on it, but I acknowledged that we were all human. I acknowledged that it happens.
I didn't feel acknowledged though.
Well, go rewatch it. Go rewatch it. It's there. It's there for you to rewatch. That's the reason that we've been recording all these episodes and putting them out for everyone to see. So just so everyone knows how Zim is like.
You know what, guys? I need a new co-host for this podcast. So if you guys want to submit your applications,
I need a new co-host because this isn't working out.
Please send it.
Obviously.
You know my business email.
It's Wiz and Coder. Yeah, my coder.
Yeah,
is
who's first though? You know, whose name comes in first?
It shouldn't be there.
Come on, bro.
It should be alphabetized.
It would have sounded weird. I actually did think about
Coder
this.
and Wiz. It doesn't flow.
It doesn't flow.
Wiz and Coder doesn't flow already.
Yeah. we talked about this before.
Yeah, we did. Wiz and Coder.
It flows better than Coder and Wiz.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's better.
Ruby and Max. Max and Ruby. It doesn't flow as well as Ruby and Max.
Where's that from?
Oh my gosh! You don't know Max and Ruby? You've never watched Max and Ruby before?
No. What is it?
That's sad. Did you have cable?
Yeah.
And you didn't watch Max and Ruby?
Well, what is it?
It's a kids show.
It's a cartoon.
Bro, wait. Let me put this on my Be Real.
In the middle of the episode.
In the middle of recording, Zim, please.
I'm not. This is not making the pod. Oh, this? Oh.
Yeah, Max and Ruby.
Oh, that's what it was?
Yeah.
Where will they come out? Nickelodeon?
Nickelodeon.
I never watched it. I was into the Drake and
You're
Josh.
you're showing your true. You're
The
showing your true
Cartoon
colors.
Network. Shout out Cartoon Network. We thought it was done. We thought they were dead. But they're coming back.
I wouldn't know. I don't watch TV anymore.
You didn't hear about that? About like Cartoon Network like being like done or like canceled?
I didn't.
People thought it was like being canceled, and then they literally said like we're not
But
going anywhere.
Why were they about to cancel it?
I don't know. I think like HBO had something to do with it, or HBO Max like dead, or
It's the monopoly. It's the
yeah, blah blah blah. You know what's funny? I literally took a children's TV course in college, and I look back on it. It's like the most pointless thing. Like the most pointless course.
I would. Oh, okay. I was gonna say like I feel
Well,
like
for me,
children's
really like
children's
TV.
like, TV made an impact in my life. And I'm sure it made a big impact in yours.
I mean, yeah, but like, what am I gonna need it for? Like that info.
Was the course set up for you to use somehow in the future?
To get a degree, yeah.
You had to take a choice.
I had to take a. I had to.
And
it
what
was
did they,
one of the.
what
one
did
of
they
the
teach you in this
options.
class? What did they teach you in this class?
How like children's TV is set up, like the episodes, like the themes and stuff like that. I mean, this is not against the professor or anything like that. She was actually a really cool professor. I just mean like it's pointless. You know,
for you.
For the majority of the people, it's pointless.
Well, what if people? It doesn't even have to be children's TV though. Every theme that shows up in children's TV shows up everywhere else.
No.
I don't know if you've ever heard of this thing called like okay, I'm not like a pro on this or anything, but
yeah, thanks.
there's this idea where if you learn, I think there's up to 17 or like 27 themes in composing like storytelling. And if you were to know all of those themes, you'd basically know what comes next when watching a movie, when watching a TV show. You never heard of this before? Well, you should check it out because you're over here talking.
You're probably making this up.
I swear, search it up.
I'm the writing major, journalism.
Well,
I never heard of any of this.
That's crazy how I probably know more than you. That's crazy how I probably know more than you.
I don't trust you.
Search it up.
I'm the one with the degree.
Well, dude, search it up.
You're
the one with the degree, but you don't know about like this simple fact that a nurse himself knows about.
This is not. It's pointless.
It's probably
what is it? 27.
I don't know if it's 27 or 28 or 17.
You don't even know. You don't even know.
Hey, when we have our other producer Isaac isn't here, but I'm pretty sure he would back me up on this.
If Isaac said it, I believe him. I don't believe.
Okay, because he's a credible source. I get that. I acknowledge that.
Let's see. That's
okay?
I acknowledge
that.
My degree paying off right there.
But
Verified sources.
I'm worried that your degree or your course in this degree left that part out for you, because that's questionable. But we'll wait.
It's pointless.
We'll wait until Isaac is
And
here.
TV, children's TV.
We'll wait until Ivan is here as well, because they're two pretty big movie guys, and that's just a heads up that they'll be here. But
Ooh, a tease.
a tease, a little tease. But they'll be coming on, so let's wait on that.
Let's wait on that. All right, this has been. I feel a lot better about this episode than I did about our previous episode. And I remember thinking after we finished that last episode, I was like, that was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
Then I went and I started editing it, and I said, oh no, this is horrible. I said it.
We cut out a whole chunk.
Times.
We cut out a whole chunk.
Too many times. It was horrible. And I also miscalculated how long it was going to take to edit. I kind of
Today was filled with many lessons. Let's leave
many
it at
lessons, more lessons for you
One.
than for me.
that. If you have a podcast, don't forget to bring your mic.
Yeah, probably.
Don't forget to
Probably
bring your
step one.
mic. 2,
Make sure you have a concrete place to record your podcast if you're gonna make videos.
No.
Yes,
no.
make sure you have a place.
No, because we could have recorded anywhere. The world,
No,
the
I
world
wasn't
is the
gonna
limit.
record.
No,
I
the
wasn't gonna-
sky's the limit.
But we weren't gonna. I wasn't gonna do it with just one mic, Calvin.
The sky's the limit.
No, it wasn't. It wouldn't have been
The
a
sky's
good
the limit.
episode.
It,
If I tune in, if I see a podcast and I see the two hosts, if I see them share a mic in between them, so they say something, oh, no. Like I'm
we didn't have to share the mic because
That's what you were
because
saying.
of the acoustics of the room that we were in.
But you were saying, hey, bro, let's just share the mic with that. Like,
that's what I meant. Like sharing the mic this way. Look, okay.
no,
here,
it doesn't sound good.
In here, it doesn't sound good because the room is bigger. But in the library that we were in, it was closed. It was closed 4x4, but then the ceiling was so high that literally when you snap on the other side of the room, you'd hear it on the mic clearly.
But you were still wanting to record right there.
I would have wanted to. I feel
No,
like that would have been
wouldn't.
good content. We
No,
could have
that
gotten
wouldn't.
someone from
If
the
I
library.
saw that, I'm not
People were
listening
looking
to
outside
that
of the window and like trying to see what we were doing. I would have been like, "Hey, come here! Like,
No,
don't be
I'm not
shy.
getting-
Don't
I'm
be
not getting
shy.
a stranger in here.
Why not?
We just don't know. We just don't know what type of people you are.
Valid, but who knows? Like that.
What if they
That could have been our
what
next
if they
best friend.
say
That could have been our next best
What
friend.
if they say the wildest things that
Edit it out.
we're not even gonna
edit
be
it
able
out
to use it?
the same way that you
We're
edited
not
out
gonna be-
all of the times that you said what's
I
it
did
called
not-
in the last
I
episode.
did not edit it out. I just muted myself.
Same thing. You can mute them.
It's
You can
one
mute them.
phrase, Calvin.
You can mute them.
It's one.
If you
phrase.
were to mute
yeah, so I'm gonna
every
I'm gonna
time
mute them
that
like
you
the whole 10 minutes that they were there with us.
every time if you were to mute
So it's
the
gonna be
whole
10
time
minutes of silence.
that you said what's it called in the last episode, it would have taken up at least 5 minutes already, bro. That's insane.
Wait, what?
Like that's insane to me. That's
What'd you
crazy.
say?
That's crazy.
No, it's no seriously. What'd you say? I
Wait,
didn't hear
when?
you. All right, that's it for episode 2, guys. Check back with us in 2 weeks. We're gonna actually have a guest this time. I feel happy with myself. I'm
Yeah.
proud of myself for not saying it.
On purpose. Not on purpose.
I've said it on
he
purpose.
said it not on
but
purpose.
Yeah, not on purpose.
Yes.
So
if you get to this far, make sure that
you know what?
you greet Zim.
Shoot me a congratulations text.
Yeah.
Say you did it.
instead
You
of
accomplished
making fun
it.
of him for saying what's it called so many times, you, should
You
say,
brought me down. Now pick me up. All right?
he realizes his mistakes, and look at him now. This the whole premise as to why we made this episode was so he can make up for it, and he did it.
All right, guys, that was it for episode 2. Once again, make sure to follow us on the socials, on Instagram at Wiz and Coder Podcast. We're pretty sure we'll come up with other platforms also. Make sure to follow Calvin on his socials. I'll post them on there. And follow me on my socials. I will also post it on the episode. Thanks so much, guys, for listening to us and watching us as well. If you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and keep that notification bell posted. All right, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
You'll be hearing from us.